Welcome to a delicious journey through time as we explore the fascinating history of pizza, one of the world's most beloved foods that started as a simple flatbread and evolved into a global icon enjoyed by billions. Our story begins thousands of years ago in ancient civilizations, where people were already experimenting with bread topped with various ingredients. As far back as the 6th century BC, Persian soldiers under Darius the Great baked flatbreads on their shields, topping them with cheese and dates for a quick, nourishing meal on the battlefield, while ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans had their own versions. Egyptians seasoned flatbreads with herbs and oils. Greeks created plakis layered with garlic, onions, and cheese, and Romans enjoyed focaccia-like breads drizzled with olive oil and spices, even mentioning topped flatbreads in epic poems like Virgil's Aeneid, where characters eat their plates made of bread topped with herbs and mushrooms. These early precursors were practical foods for the masses, easy to make and eat without utensils, setting the foundation for what would become pizza. Fast forward to medieval Europe, flatbreads with toppings remained popular across the Mediterranean, from Spanish coques to French galettes. But it wasn't until the late 18th century in Naples, Italy, a bustling, overcrowded port city filled with working-class people, that modern pizza truly emerged as a cheap, filling street food sold by vendors carrying stacks of pies, cut to size, based on how much a customer could afford. In those days, pizza was a poor man's meal. A simple dough base topped with lard, cheese, basil, garlic, oil, or even just salt and herbs, baked quickly in wood-fired ovens and eaten on the go, often folded and wrapped in paper. The word pizza itself first appeared in documents around 997 AD in southern Italy, derived from Latin roots meaning to pound or stamp the dough. But it was in Naples where it became a cultural staple, with pizzerias opening as early as the 1700s to serve the hungry crowds. The real game changer came in the 16th century when tomatoes arrived in Europe from the Americas, initially feared as poisonous because they belonged to the nightshade family. But by the 18th century, Neapolitan peasants embraced them, adding vibrant red sauce to their flatbreads, transforming pizza into something closer to what we know today, with variations like the marinara topped with tomato, garlic, oregano, and oil. Supposedly named after fishermen's wives who prepared it for their husbands returning from sea. Pizza remained a local delicacy, mostly unknown outside Naples, until a legendary moment in 1889 when King Umberto and Queen Margherita of Savoy visited the city, tired of fancy French cuisine. The Queen summoned renowned pizzaiolo Rafael Lee Esposito from Pizzeria di Pietro, now known as Pizzeria Brandy, to create something special. He made 3 pizzas, and her favorite was one with tomatoes for red, mozzarella for white, and basil for green, mirroring the colors of the new Italian flag, and thus the Pizza Margherita was born, elevating pizza from street food to a dish fit for royalty and helping spread its fame across Italy's upper classes. Strict traditions developed around Neapolitan pizza, a soft, thin crust with a raised, charred edge called the cornichon, hand-kneaded dough, San Marzano tomatoes, fresh buffalo mozzarella, and baking in a blazing hot wood-fired oven for just 60-90 seconds. Traditions so cherished that in 2009, Neapolitan pizza making was recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. And today, true Neapolitan pizza must follow strict guidelines to earn the official stamp. As Italian immigrants fled poverty in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they brought pizza to America, where it exploded in popularity. The first licensed pizzeria in the U.S. opened in 1905, when Gennaro Lombardi turned his New York grocery store into Lombardi's on Spring Street, selling tomato pies wrapped in paper to factory workers in Little Italy. These early pizzas were simple, coal-oven baked with a thin, foldable crust that became the iconic New York style, large slices drizzled with sauce and low-moisture mozzarella, perfect for eating on the street. Italian neighborhoods in cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, and Boston soon had their own pizzerias. But it was after World War II, when American soldiers returned from Italy craving the pizza they'd tasted overseas. That demand skyrocketed nationwide. In New York, the style evolved into the classic foldable slice with a crispy yet chewy crust, often topped sparingly to let the dough shine. While in Chicago, innovators like Ike Sewell at Pizzeria Uno in 1943 created deep dish pizza, a hearty, pie-like creation baked in a deep pan with layers of cheese at the bottom, toppings in the middle, and sauce on top to prevent burning, resulting in a fork-and-knife meal that's more casserole than flatbread, with buttery, cornmeal-infused crusts holding generous fillings like sausage and peppers. Chicago also developed tavern-style thin-crust squares, cut into bite-sized pieces for sharing in bars. Other regional twists emerged. California favored gourmet toppings on thin crusts. Detroit introduced rectangular steel pan pizzas with crispy, caramelized cheese edges, and St. Louis brought ultra-thin, cracker-like crusts topped with Prouville cheese. Pizza's global conquest accelerated in the mid-20th century, with innovations that made it even more accessible. In the 1950s, frozen pizza was pioneered by brands like Celentano Brothers and later Rose Totino, who sold her company to Pillsbury, allowing supermarkets to stock ready-to-bake pies that brought pizza into homes far from pizzerias. By the 1960s and 70s, chains like Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Little Caesars revolutionized the industry with fast service, franchises, and catchy marketing, spreading pizza to every corner of America and then the world. Today, pizza is a multi-billion-dollar phenomenon, and globally, it's adapted everywhere, from Japan's seafood-topped okonomiyaki-inspired pies and teriyaki chicken versions, to India's spicy paneer tikka pizzas, Brazil's green pea toppings, Australia's barbecue styles, and even Sweden's banana curry curiosities like the Hawaiian, invented in Canada in 1962 with pineapple and ham sparking endless debates, but proving pizza's endless versatility. Innovations continue, like gluten-free and cauliflower crusts for health-conscious eaters, plant-based cheeses and meats, air-fryer-friendly frozen options, and premium artisanal takes with local ingredients. From ancient shield-baked breads to today's endless varieties, pizza's history is a testament to human ingenuity, migration, and the universal love for simple, comforting flavors. Whether you prefer a classic Neapolitan margherita, a gooey Chicago deep dish, a foldable New York slice, or something wildly creative, pizza unites us all in its delicious, ever-evolving story.